NATO's unity over the Russia-Ukraine war is facing unprecedented challenges, with the US now leading a clear divide in the alliance. While the US President-elect has expressed an open call to end the war by all means, including diplomacy and negotiations at the center, it's the outgoing administration of Joe Biden that has caused ripples within NATO by granting Ukraine permission to use US-made long-range ATACMS missiles for deep strikes on Russia. This new move could significantly boost Ukraine's defense, with Zelensky now eager to put the US-supplied missiles to use on the battlefield as the war enters its 1,000th day.
The plan to strengthen Ukraine is a victory plan that I presented to our partners. One of the main points is long range for our army. Today, much is being said in the media about us receiving permission for the relevant actions. But strikes are not made with words. Such things are not announced. The missiles will speak for themselves. Glory to Ukraine.
Poland's foreign minister, Radosław Sikorski, supported the move, aligning with the missile decision as a strong response to Putin's actions, claiming it spoke the same language as the Russian president. Meanwhile, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz took a more diplomatic approach, seeking direct engagement with Putin. Sikorski, a staunch advocate for Ukraine, marked the decision with a 2022 post on X, noting they should have listened to such measures earlier. Positioned at the front line of NATO's opposition to Moscow, Poland shares a border with Ukraine and has consistently pushed for stronger support for Kyiv, making Sikorski's endorsement of the missile strike a clear message of Poland's firm stance against Russia. But not all NATO members share Poland's enthusiasm. Scholz, in a rare phone call with Putin, condemned the deployment of North Korean troops in Ukraine as a grave escalation, but also reopened dialogue after nearly 2 years without direct communication. Scholz called for an end to the war and the withdrawal of Russian troops, a plea that the Kremlin described as a detailed and frank exchange. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, critical of the call, condemned it as Pandora's box, warning that it could lead to more talks without meaningful change in Moscow's stance.
Olaf's call, in my opinion, is Pandora's box. Now, there may be other conversations, other calls, just a lot of words. And this is exactly what Putin has wanted for a long time. It is crucial for him to weaken his isolation, Russia's isolation, and to engage in negotiations, ordinary negotiations, that will lead to nothing, as he has been doing for decades. This allowed Russia to change nothing in its policy, to do nothing substantial, and ultimately it led to this war.
His criticism was echoed by Poland's Prime Minister, who dismissed phone diplomacy as futile, asserting that real support, not just diplomatic exchanges, is needed to stop Putin.
We share the view that today everything must be done, and no inside events should impede this, to strengthen transatlantic defense cooperation. For this, you can count on Poland and on the Polish government that we will be consequential in this regard. I confirm that Poland will continue to invest money and effort into making its eastern border impenetrable to potential aggressors.
Scholz, however, defended his stance, emphasizing the importance of direct communication with Putin, especially given the complexities of ending the war and ensuring continued support for Ukraine.
This is also important for those who believe that it will be very easy to end this war, but it can only be ended if the Russian president is ready to give up his imperialist goals. And those who talk about this in Germany must be made to understand that there are no signs of an end to the war. It is not that simple. We will have to continue to support Ukraine so that it can defend itself.
While Poland stands firm due to its proximity to Russia, other NATO countries, especially those with historical ties to Moscow, are more cautious. French President Emmanuel Macron, while open to dialogue, emphasized that Putin remains uninterested in peace talks, focusing instead on intensifying the conflict. Other nations like Slovakia and Hungary, with their pro-Moscow positions, complicate NATO's unified stance. Meanwhile, smaller Baltic nations, such as Latvia and Lithuania, while vocally supportive of Ukraine, remain vulnerable to Russia's influence via Belarus. As tensions mount, the stakes for NATO have never been higher. For Poland, the challenge is twofold: providing unwavering support to Ukraine while addressing its own security concerns as Russia's proximity grows ever more menacing. For the larger NATO bloc, finding a cohesive strategy amidst these rifts is crucial, as the alliance faces a complex battle not just on the battlefield, but in maintaining its internal unity. The coming weeks will be pivotal for both the war and NATO's future.